Well, people don't care. If you are a ranked amateur or professional magician, the unfortunate thing is, we as mystery artists do our best to entertain at those times when we don't want to. To get gratification, validation, we forget the most important thing of all: respect the craft. Unfortunately, this isn't because being a nice person to those who randomly ask you to show your skill. This is actually because the magicians and mentalists are just missing few simple steps or different little tricks and techniques that you need to be using to make people care. So let's dive into how and where to perform magic. This video will going to be all for you guys, coming up with my personal experience that occurred to me while I was performing all these years. So this is going to be solution what I faced, and in future you shouldn't. Number one, know your style. See guys, you cannot be a mentalist and performing an ambitious card routine or kissing card routine, doing con manipulation and reading minds list while you list yourself as a magician. A performer must remember who they really are and what their style is. See, you are representing yourself on the behalf of entire magicians and mentalists out there. So you got to give your audience the best experience they can ever get. So don't be fooled or don't be worried about watching other performances getting more reactions, more views on social media platforms. Just focus on yourself and do excel in your area of expertise. And this one goes for everyone out there, musicians or painters, artists, comic book writers, or photographers. This one goes to anyone who is watching right now. Now, number two, don't perform just anywhere. I'm going to quote two people in this. First, we all know him very well, and second, we do know him well, but we always underlooked his advice. But before that, let me give you an example. Like, for example, oh, Mr. Blah, 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 you're a magician. Wow, that's great. Why don't you just show me something? Well, your answer should be somewhere to say no. Why? Because majority of the people want to outsmart you or challenge you to fool them. Because neither they have respect for your art and neither for you. And this comes from my own personal experience, not just one time, but multiple times, several times it occurred to me in all of the years of practicing magic. But now, let me give you a quote, let me show you a quote that will explain what I really meant. Of course, some people just want to know. They think magic is a challenge to their intelligence. If they can't discern the fraudulent method, the secret that's employed, they feel they're not as bright as they should be. I think the cleverer the person, the more they realize it's just an illusion you are creating. So you see what I meant? Now picture this. They've seen most of the magic tricks happening in front of a television, YouTube, or any other social media platform. And the desire to call them out and catching them red-handed is so prominent that they will go to at any extent to do it. And now you, as a magician standing right in front of them, why would they miss the chance to ask you to perform and catch you red-handed without understanding the nuances of the art form, that the magic is just the art form and it's just the illusion that you are creating. They do all that kind of stupid stuff. Moving on, there is a smart way to deal with this type of people or hecklers, whatever you like to call them. But before that, let me show you a clip from a movie, very famous movie that we all have seen at some point. Perhaps we were way too ignorant to follow up. So here it is.
What happened? Your balls drop off? If you're good at something, never do it for free.
How much you want?
Half.
All right, guys. So now I'm going to share you one of my exciting experience that you all gonna love while you're gonna hear it. Okay, so here it goes. This happened when I was at trip to Manali back in December 2023. It was a trekking trip, and some of them already knew that I am a magician and I perform in such and such event. So at night, the day we reached to our camp, at night there was a bonfire. People were all gathered around and having fun, music and all. So one guy stood up and asked me, hey, you're a magician, right? And I said, yeah, sure. So why don't you show us all something and entertain us with your skill? And I was like, okay, all right. And how could I say no? My friends were there. They also wanted to get entertained. Okay. So I did one thing and it was like, hey, do you got 200 rupee bill, 200 rupee note? You know, I'm going to change it into a 500 rupee experience by the end of this show. So, mini show, whatever you like to call. And then he gave it to me. I kept it inside my pocket. And now, by this time, I had the focus of all the people from the group. And the 200 rupee note was inside. So now I asked two volunteers to come up and help me out. I performed some PK touches and then mind reading experiments and other stuff. And it was all sum up in like 10 minutes. I sent them back to be seated. I just was moving to get my drinks, and then he stood up again and said, hey, you said you were going to change into 500. And I said, I said I'm going to change it into a 500 rupee experience. You know, it would be great for you to be at my show and you will see, like, I charge 500 rupee for half an hour of performance. So wasn't it like the best thing possible that this 10 minutes of your life was the best experience you ever had? Boom. Now did you get it? I performed, I did a thing which I am good at while I was getting paid. Even if it's a small amount, I did get paid. Number 3, looking good and keeping your hygiene while dressing well. Now I know most of you must be thinking, hey, Maverick, what do you mean by this, bro? Does that really matter? Bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this. Looking good is directly proportional to performing magic and mentalism. I learned this in a hard way, so you don't. Now, picture this. You are wearing a rough t-shirt, a denim jeans, and your hair are all messed up. And you're introducing yourself as a professional magician. And on the other hand, some guy is wearing a 3-piece, decent-looking suit and introducing himself as a professional magician. What do you think? To whom people will pay more attention towards? To whom they're gonna address him as a professional magician? Tell me in the comments below. Now, regardless of our beliefs or our ideology, I know we all are different individuals, but dressing good, dressing sharp does give you an impact, an edge, an edge towards your personality. Now, someone from the crowd will come up and say, hey, how can you judge me of whatever I'm wearing? I can wear whatever the hell I want. No, I will say, please, hang on, hold on your horses. My question will be to that person, hey, do you eat pizza in your breakfast?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No, right? Since we eat different food on a different time and a different occasion, all right, we have different mood in different situations, then why don't we dress appropriately according to the occasion? Okay, all right. Picture this. Picture this, Cristiano Ronaldo wearing a ballerina frock while he's playing football. Will that be appropriate? Now think about that. No, right? So even if he wants to wear, just okay, let's supposedly, even if he wants to wear a ballerina frock, will that be appropriate while playing football? No, right? So I'm not going to take much of your time by saying this, but there are different ways. There are multiple different ways to look good, dress well, formally and informally. So you have to do your own research to do good. Wear a good cologne, good perfume, fragrance, whatever you like to call it. Just dress well, look sharp. Remember, looking good, keeping up your hygiene is directly proportional to performing magic and mentalism. This one goes to every art form. Now, number 4, less is more. Once you're done with your routine, just greet them, give them regards, and just go away. Get away. Vanish.
If I get him to you, can you get him to talk?
I'll get him to sing.
Things will get ugly. I knew the risk when I took this job, Lieutenant. How will you get him back in?
He does that.
There was a reason Dynamo didn't stay longer after he is done dropping jaws and blowing minds of the people on the streets. Now, number 5, choose your participants wisely. And this is the most important and the key factor to remember when you're performing, when you're about to perform. Don't just rush into things, okay? Don't just open all of your cards on the table. First thing first, do the suggestibility test. Give them small few tasks to remember or ask them few questions, okay, to see, for you to observe, will they going to take your command? Will they going to follow up what you're going to ask in the next few tricks you will going to perform for them? And the best way to learn it from, we're going to learn it from this book, Psychological Subtleties by Banaceck. The first book. Okay, you can learn ton of new ideas, ton of ways to do the psychological subtleties, to prep your audiences. Now, the second is, some people want you to fail. Okay, yeah, you will find those audience. Some audience will be skeptics even though you have successfully executed your routine, and remaining him, others are completely baffled, but that guy or that person will be, oh yeah, I'm still not impressed. Those are very rude people, and how are you going to tackle them? You have to come up with the best comebacks possible, and that you have to learn for yourselves.
The ropes are long-rotted, and the stairs are falling away.
Well, if magic were easy, Your Majesty, every fool would be doing it.
Now, if you haven't watched my video where I explain you, where I give you some great pointers that how to deal with hecklers, the video will be right here down below. Go and check it out, and you will get some best ways to deal with hecklers. Now, I believe that I have completed and covered all these little topics and little tricks that I promised you in the beginning of this video. Now, with all that being said, all hands together now. Salute. Take care, guys. Be safe out there and rock and roll.